ବସିକି ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ଲାଗୁଛି କେତେ ବଡ଼ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ହେଉଛି ଆଉ ଆମ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ପଢ଼ା ହେବ ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ ନୂଆ ନୂଆ ଜିନିଷ ଶିଖିବେ ଆଉ they will achieve many more things. We are very, very excited to be a part of it. I feel very privileged to be a part of it. Just to introduce what we are going to talk about, it's India's fintech story. India's fintech and insurtech story has truly taken off. The Indian fintech market is expected to reach $150 billion in valuation by 2025, making it the third largest in the world after the US and the UK. The insurtech landscape has also made significant strides, with a 12x increase in revenue over the past 5 years to reach $750 million and a cumulative valuation of $13.6 billion. This momentum is of course powered by over 9,900 fintechs and an impressive 87% adoption rate, the highest globally, and a foundation of 954 million internet users, a strong digital infrastructure and very supportive policy. In just the last few years, India's fintech sector has attracted 25 to 30 billion in foreign investment. At the same time, the country has become a natural home for global capability centers, as banks, insurers, payment firms establish operations here to grow their talent, technology, and get some scale. This combination is positioning India not just as a fast-growing market, but as an exporter of fintech know-how and a preferred partner for companies on the path of finance transformation. With our diverse panel today, we will be exploring how this growth opportunity can be best leveraged with a focus on upskilling programs that have the potential to strengthen businesses, create jobs, and drive sustainable economic prosperity. Prof. Huang, I will put my first question to you. It's wonderful that the Asian Institute of Digital Finance is running a program for our students. Some of who are sitting behind over there, we'll be able to interact with them later. But how can institutions like AIDF collaborate with Indian partners to design upskilling initiatives that accelerate the transfer of cutting-edge technologies and academic breakthroughs into real-world fintech solutions?
Thank you. So it's really my honor to join this capacity building and upskilling program. So AIDF and NUS School Computing, we have many experiences over new programs, new technology programs in the past. So 5 years ago, when AIDF was founded, we launched the very first fintech PhD program in the world, and also we are one of the very first university that launched the fintech master programs. And so our new technology program is not just for the master or PhD. We also offer a lot of the executive training programs for senior executives, mid-career professionals, and also fresh graduates. And at the same time, now as another example, we are also launching a new executive master in AI and digital transformation. That's another example that we always work closely with Singapore government and the GFTN to offer new degree programs for new technologies. In addition to that, in these capacity building programs, we will have capstone projects. So students have the opportunity to apply the state-of-art fintech, insurtech they learn throughout the program and work on the real problems of the industry partners through the capstone projects. So for the students, they also have the opportunity after the capstone project, they can visit AIDF or NUS School Computing and exchange to learn more advanced knowledge in that area. At the same time, all of the industry partners, they are welcome to continue working on the capstone project problems with AIDF or NUS School Computing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And speaking of capstone partners, Dr. Sinhala, moving to you. We are hoping you will join us as one of our capstone partners as well. I have a question for you on
Firstly, let's understand technology. It's a tool. When you see a tool which is developing so fast, and you have a country like India, and you've heard the word jugaad, the basic thinking process, even at the last mile, they are able to find solutions even in the constraints, the most difficult position, and come out with something which is amazing. Now imagine if you are able to provide powerful tools in these hands, it will transform businesses, it will transform the way you look at solutioning to a very different level. When we see the effort being made here of trying to put tech, getting the best of brains, universities, and simplifications tools in the hands of young people and people who want to upskill what they are doing and who are going to solve issues, it is going to leapfrog our country to the next level. Jobs which we not even thought about would get created, solutions we not even thought about would get created. And all this will happen at a very hyper scale. So to answer your question, upskilling or reskilling is not like a luxury. It's a constant path. Every day you're doing it. It is not like one milestone that you have to achieve. No, it's a constant thing. It's a way of life. Like even though if you ask me, I'm constantly trying and playing with generative AI currently to learn to see how this tool can be used to redefine how we look at solving problems or solutions which will benefit the society, the country, and our customers at large.
Lifelong learning. You don't just
It's a continuous thing. Not like.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Terry, I will move on to you. Are you able to hear us? Excellent. Thank you. You can unmute your mic. Perfect. Okay. So I would like to ask you a question about ACT International's experience in other Asian markets. Based on that, how could a targeted upskilling initiative in India foster mutual learning, co-creation of digital finance solutions? What lessons have you seen elsewhere that could help Indian fintechs and your organization deliver greater impact?
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me. I'm joining from Singapore. And also congratulations to the government of Rhodesia and GFTA for this amazing milestone. I think just from the outset, just looking from India perspective, India has one of the world's largest talent pool. 65% of 1.4 billion population is actually below 35 years old. So I'm calling myself old already. But we have such a great pool of young talents that are waiting to be inspired. So having this partnership in place, having a very structured program in place would really help drive the next transformation of the digital economy of India. But more importantly, put India on the global map and integrate India as a global economic powerhouse. So I think these are all very important backdrop and context we should have in mind. I want to switch a little bit into fintech industry. Today, when we operate in ASEAN, when we talk to the government in the region, fintech is no longer just something nice to have. From a financial technology perspective, it is very strategic. It is a combination of financial services, but also technology advancement. So today, it employs 500,000 people and projected to double by 2030 in the India market. And I think India has a very unique competitiveness because the talent base is relatively competitive. And also, they are very sophisticated already to a certain level of engineering expertise. And also the landscape, India itself, just looking at the amazing initiatives that RBI and MCI, the government itself has taken, ranging from UPI, Aadhaar, and all the digital locker, these like digital infrastructure is public, have provided a very good platform for a lot of innovations to leapfrog and jumpstart. So having this unique environment placed India already in a very advantageous position. So I think having a national tech roadmap is very important. And we should think about talent not just as training, skilling, reskilling, but really we need to look at it holistically, almost like a supply chain if you think about it. First, you have the roadmap, you have the focus, you know where the talent gaps are, you use data to analyze where the demands will be, and then you go fully commit the resource on the supply side and make sure once you have all these strategy in place, you develop very good distribution channel to get this content to the right hands of the talent that you want to promote. So I think having this partnership in place between GFT and the government of Rhodesia is a very good start, providing a very good framework. So a lot of the input, resource, and commitment can actually be channeled much more effectively. And also, just from a global perspective, we operate in over 70 countries and markets as a company, and International is headquartered in Singapore. So our lessons learned, there are two examples. One is obviously we work very closely with Singapore Monetary Authority of Singapore, and also work with a lot of local institutions like NTU, looking into how we can, through research, through collaboration, through internship, through sandbox training, we can actually fine-tune the policy and then foster collaboration cross-agency, cross-sector. I think that is a very important lesson for us to learn. Our partnership with MAS in 2023 under Project Guardian was such a useful experience where we can actually have a very structured way where we can provide our use case, but also receive feedbacks, also tap into the ecosystem that MAS is able to bring on, and more importantly, how do we set ourselves up, train our own talents, but also share our knowledge with the ecosystem. So having a structured learning program of what NUS is doing, I think this will actually help with the distribution of the know-how and knowledge that we have accumulated in these emerging technology developments. And also, I think a few things just on the targeted upskilling. Bridging skill set is very important. As we all know, Gen AI has exponentially changed a lot of the way we operate. So I think large-scale talent training, skilling in AI and data science is a must. Having the data science and analytical skills to continue improve the accuracy of how AI can be a driver for payment services, for financial services, is really critical because we are at the tipping point where I think we need actually more fine-tuned data model to widen the financial access. There's still a lot of unbanked population, a lot of unserved population around the world. So I think India can play a huge role as a global finance and innovation hub to jumpstart and elevate its talent pool to meet the challenge of tomorrow. So I think training is one, but also adoption, how AI can actually be applied and adopted is very key because you can train your LLM model all day long and improve the accuracy, but if it's not being used and if it's not being provided to the mass market, it will limit the potential of how technology can play a role in society. And this kind of leads to tech inclusion because we all know, technology is catching up, but fraudsters, criminals are also catching up. So how do we make sure we create equal landscape where all the talents can access technology? What is the corporate positioning in bridging the gaps? I think these are all very important questions we should have in mind when we look into the type of talents and skill set we want to plug in to fill the gap. But last but not the least, I do think mindset is really critical because in my 13 years operating in the fintech space, a lot of players come into the space for quick short-term revenue gain. But I think we should all ask ourselves when we train the talents, how can we help them understand the social impact, the environmental impact that the industry can also bring to the community that we serve. So it's not just on the hard skill set training, how to build a model, but also understand if you have the right model to fill the market gaps, then you can really unleash a lot of potential that technology can bring to transform the next generation of our economy. So thank you so much for having me, and very happy to be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate that. And what you talked about financial inclusion, I think is a good segue into my question for you, Mr. Sanjeev. From your perspective, which specific initiatives or pilots have yielded the most promising results for mass financial inclusion in your experience? And what opportunity does it present in terms of skilling to prepare for the future?
Sorry. So while in India we have this substrate of the JAM-style vision, the Aadhaar mobile substrate, on top of which there are many form factors of payments that have been built up. The one form factor that has that I personally believe that has done the largest amount to do financial inclusion on both sides, both on the customer side and on the business side, is the UPI. So what UPI has done, that though on one side it has made everybody, us and our grandfathers, do digital transactions, but the major shift has happened on the merchant side. So today we have a large base of merchants who otherwise was all cash, all unrecorded, have become digital now. And by becoming digital, what has led to them is now there was a large business segment. So today UPI has about 40 million merchants who are actively taking UPI transactions today. Now these 40 million merchants otherwise didn't have any financial data to produce, so their credit worthiness with the bank was absolutely zero. So a bank would take a call on them, which was an anecdotal call to give a credit to them or not. And then we have programs like Swaridhi, which is again blanket programs. But today, by use of UPI, there is transactional data that these merchants are able to produce, and then financial institutions are able to make a call on their credit worthiness, and hence there is a large segment of merchants who have access to capital, and this capital is helping them grow, and that is only possible because of a form factor of a real-time payment like UPI. Now the inflection that we are on is not just India. UPI has now, through various partnerships and tie-ups, has gone to about 17 countries, last I counted, and more are coming. And not just that, the rest of the world is also taking cue from here and is migrating to more real-time payment structures, because card is not a real-time payment. Card is a T+1 settlement payment, but something like UPI is immediate settlement payment. So there is a higher demand for this kind of payment form factors across the world. And the skill set that are required to create this substrate, I believe would be very high demand, not just in India, but across the world. For example, the way to onboard a UPI merchant, which is a low-tech activity. Now, India has a workforce which is trained, which has onboarded, which has assessed, verified. These 40 million merchants have onboarded them. And when the rest of the world goes there and plans to introduce this real-time payment ecosystems, that skill set is required. It's very basic, not very technical, but it's required. Understanding credit worthiness with real-time transaction data at a huge volume, huge scale is required. That's a skill set that we have expertise in, we have some advantage in and experience in, and hence we should be able to proliferate at that. A third thing is, now a transaction form factor like UPI, where the ticket size is very small, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 5 rupees, is very different from the kind of transactions you do on a credit card, like a $100, $200 kind of a transaction. As a result of that, the number of transactions that hits the system is very high, is very spiky in nature. About 80% of the UPI transactions happen in a 2-hour loop. So scaling information systems to capture this at high fidelity is a skill set that is only available to Indian fintech engineers today. Because the rest of the world may not be having a population base like ours, and then countries who have a population base do not have the tech or the substrate that everybody is included. The speaker prior to me, Alibaba, they have some software, but it operates in a different scale in China. And here we have advantage in distributing or proliferating this technology to rest of the world by skilling out with youth, because we have the data, we have the experience in dealing with this, and that I believe is what we can take to the world that is making us financially inclusive today and will make rest of the world financially inclusive.
That sounds so promising. Thank you. I would love to ask, I have so many questions prepared, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to ask one last question. I'll give you 3 very simple options and you can pick one of them. If India were to anchor Asia Pacific's fintech talent agenda, what single culture mindset, value, or institutional norms must be built first? Should it be the mindset, the value, or the institutional norm?
Yeah, I would say mindset. Because in the near future, AI and Gen AI is getting more and more important. It will affect all of the business function, all the industry, and most of the job roles. The way people work with AI will be different from today. So the culture or habitual behavior is very, very difficult to change. So we need education to educate all of the new generation, their mindset, how they work together with the AI as a colleague in the new organization structure. That would be my view.
Thank you, Prof. Sanjeev?
I'd second what Professor said. I think mindset is paramount here, not because just new technologies, new form factors of disruption may be coming, but because the world we are looking at now, we are a young country, we are a very populated country, but in order to make that our strength, we have to be adaptable to multicultural value systems, which I believe our education system, our growing up system misses a little bit. We are not that much exposed to a lot of different cultures, especially international cultures. And if that is something that we become more adaptable to, we are open to new ideas, then we'll be adjusting to new cultures and as well as new technologies as they come.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, it will be values. High level of empathy. Our country is already now known for Vasudev Kutumbakam. We don't look at barriers for us, no. Everybody is part of the family. High level of empathy to see the pain and suffering, no, be it in society, be it in families, be it in countries. And that high level of empathy to understand the pain would propel us to find solutions. And technology, fintech, insurtech, what do you call, those would be, or generative AI, those would give us enough tools to solve those problems. I think if we develop that high level of values and principle and high level of empathy, then obviously all this comes into play, and that would lead to a different world altogether, and that is the thing.
Thank you, Dr. Singhal. Carrie, would you like to add something to that?
Yes, all of the above, but I do want to highlight
one
value, because I think while we look at tech, we see a huge potential. We also be very mindful. It's a double-edged sword. So when we look at the potential, we also need to have AI security, tech security in mind by design. Because in the future, you'll see more LLM, more improvements on the accuracy. But then, I think then competition comes in, like whose solution is more reliable and secure. This is like my take. So having the right set of values, understanding when technology is deployed and when you need to set the guardrail is very important as well as part of the next transformation.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And one last question to finish it all again, whole panel. If you look 5 to 10 years ahead, what new fintech or insurtech roles or competencies do you anticipate will emerge and require foresightful planning and training today? Yeah, go ahead, perform.
Yeah. So I expect the AI will be more powerful. So now most of the AI is still just summarizing or extraction information from all kinds of text. I expect in the future AI will be built into a lot of the user interface. You just converse with the software or a website, and the AI can help you to achieve your task or goal, interact with the company. So I think company may need to be prepared about that, and then the first mover will gain more advantage.
Thank you.
I believe there are two planes to see here. One is the plane of cutting edge technology, where there is a lot of disruption happening, like AI, blockchain, where transaction form factors, financial form factors will migrate to. So adaptability over there will be paramount. But otherwise, there will be a large demand for physical skill sets, as in identifying fraud, which AI is more pattern based. It will only act on historical data that has been produced. But then the kind of frauds that will evolve in the newer world may not have been seen before. So there are a lot of human intelligence, a lot of objective analysis of data that will be required. So hence, developing skills in terms of technology by adapting to technologies like AI and blockchain is paramount. But in addition to that, the physical analysis, the ability to underwrite, those are also some of the skills that we need to develop in order to adapt ourselves to the future.
Thank you.
In my view, the way technology is progressing, or the way generative AI is progressing, it is reaching to a simplification mode where anybody can use technology to the highest order. So what's going to happen is, and the worry is more when you talk of skilling, is that the entry-level jobs, as you see currently, they would disappear. You're already seeing that happening. You're already seeing massive layoffs happening at an entry-level job. While you talk of skilling, the problem statement here is generative AI and the way it's developing and the way it's been discussed will take away the current entry-level jobs in this form. But it will also create massive amount of different skill sets required in different jobs. The speed at which maybe a product comes out, the speed at which a solution comes out, the cost structure which goes down. Like you mentioned, the analytics of fraud that may happen, the way it has to happen, you'll have a huge amount of jobs which you can't even imagine today would get created in the next 4 or 5 years. Now when you talk about upskilling and when you talk of reskilling, my worry is that are we still taking the base of the current environment to take it to the next level? Is that the right strategy? Or the strategy is to rethink, have the tools and see the potentially the way people think of trying to solve issues and that speed at which they can use these tools as developed. We will do that and create something which you can't even imagine today. So that skilling will be more important than an entry-level skilling, which I feel the current structure would get disrupted at a high speed. So it's a full shift happening. It is not from the current base that we try to move to the next level. That era is gone now.
So we are always worried about AI taking away jobs, which is happening, but then what I hear is also that it creates so many more opportunities, but at the same time we have to plan to train our workforce to take advantage of those opportunities. We can't be falling behind. Carrie, last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think having a more comprehensive ecosystem approach is important. I want to expand a little bit on what I have actually mentioned. At NA National, we are not focusing on foundational computing, but where we see the gaps is really the application layer. So we actually recently just rolled out our Gen AI Cockpit project, announcing with Google as the first partner. We are actually building a platform where we can aggregate the fintech ecosystem demand, but we will work with all the tech companies at the back end to source their computational power. And on top of that, we build an application layer where a lot of the fintech players and banks can plug and play and access to a full suite of library of Gen AI agent tool that serve different needs of their transformational journey. So having this kind of innovative model is quite important. So we are not just bogged down to just one business model. There's actually a lot of different ways to access to the tech capacity. And this is important to keep in mind when we train our talents, not just to focus on just one part of that whole ecosystem, but we should look into the holistic, wide range of the ecosystem and then see where the skill set gaps are, where talents can be upskilled and reskilled to fill those gaps down the road.
Thank you so much. So what I hear again is upskilling, very, very important. We are taking a very important step here in Odisha today. I thank you so much for your time. Carrie, thank you for joining us from Singapore. Can we have a big round of applause for the panel here? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
The panel and the moderator. Once again, can we have another round of applause for all of them? That was a very impactful discussion that we just had. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get the stage ready for our next segment, it is imperative that we also shed some light on the 4-pillar strategy based on which the Odisha government is fostering fintech collaboration with GFTN to position the state as a fintech hub of India. So the first pillar is global learning that aims to empower 7,000 students from across Odisha through a fintech and InsurTech professional certification program with the support of NUS, AIDF, and GFTN. The second is Global Mindshare, that would witness global platforms like the Black Swan Summit coming to Bhubaneswar in the first quarter of 2026. Global Innovation, establishment of a world-class startup and incubation support for a future-ready fintech ecosystem in Odisha, and Financial Technology Global Capability Hub, positioning Odisha as a partner of choice for all the global and national GFTN's partner financial institution. And of course, you would get to know more about these pillars as the evening progresses. But before everything, we would like to take this opportunity to extend a very, very warm welcome to Honorable Union Minister for Education, Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji, who is already here with us, and Honorable Minister for Electronics and IT, Health and Family Welfare Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Mukesh Mahalingji. A very, very warm welcome to both of them. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for a very special conversation. One that bridges vision with action and policy with purpose. Joining us for a fireside chat is a leader whose commitment to development, education, skilling, and empowerment has shaped the aspirations of millions across India. We are once again honored to welcome Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji, Honorable Union Minister of Education, a proud son of the soil whose heart always beats for Odisha and its people. Whether in parliament or policy circles, he has been a steadfast advocate for the state's progress, championing youth, innovation, and inclusive development. Under his leadership, India's education ecosystem is undergoing a remarkable transformation, one that places students, skills, and startups at the heart of our growth story. Shri Pradhan has always advocated for preparing our youth for the global innovation economy, and one of the foundational pillars of Odisha's fintech strategy, as I was just mentioning, is global learning, empowering those 7,000 students from across the state through the certificate in fintech and Ensure Tech. So ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for shaping the future of finance through talent, technology, and the path to innovation, we would like to take this opportunity to invite Honorable Union Minister Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji along with Shri Supnendu Mohanty, Group CEO GFTN, for a fireside chat. Can we have a big round of applause for two proud sons of this soil? Let's welcome them with a huge round of applause. Shri Mohanty, who was previously served as the first Chief FinTech Officer of the Monetary Authority of Singapore and has launched flagship initiatives like the Singapore FinTech Festival, and Project Ubin has been hailed as Singapore's FinTech honcho by Bloomberg for his vision of building an Asian Silicon Valley in digital finance. So over to you, Shri Mohanty, for this fantastic fireside chat.
Hello. Thank you. Anyway, good evening, and it is a deep pleasure to finally have a chance to question you. You have been spending your whole life questioning me. Today, I have a chance to question you.
Thank you.
So I'm not going to use this, lose this opportunity. At least ask some tough question, if you allow me.
Please.
Now, I got to know Dharmendra bhai, if I can call you, and I think 2 years back we met during COVID over a
4 years back.
4 years back over Zoom call, and after that we met in Singapore in I think May last year, and subsequent to that we caught up again in Singapore in October, and in both the visit you had a very pertinent observation about Singapore. And you said that how come a small country like Singapore, which is the size of Singapore, the size of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack together, with no natural resources, only human resource, could become a global, a very affluent country. And you asked me, can Odisha replicate the Singapore model? So I have two questions for you, Dharmendra bhai. What drove you to Singapore to look for a model, and why do you believe that Singapore model can come to Odisha? So please enlighten us that whole journey
because today, all of you don't know, what we see today is an idea which came from Dharmendra Bhai last year. So a big round of applause to him. And from that moment, he never allowed me to stay still. So I must ask him, what drove you to what we have today?
Thank you, Swapnendu ji. You are forgetting we made 4 years ago in a video conference in Zoom. In those days, we all are in the lockdown. I asked my office to organize some video conference. Prominent Odia community, those who are staying in the outside country, what is their experience, how they are thinking, what will happen. In those days, nobody was knowing what will happen after 15 days. A lot of uncertainty were there. I came to know about Swapnendu ji before that also. In one of my, once I read about him, the then government in Odisha appointed him as financial advisor of government. So I started inquiring, who is this Swapnendu Mahanti? Then I found this a banker come technocrat, now staying at Singapore. Then I forgot. Then in the video conference, I could make out this is Swapnendu Mahanti. And on that day, Swapnendu ji was little bit aggressive. He said, what is this Zoom meeting? Do you really want to engage us, or you want to have another Photoshop for your interest? That was not in my mind, but that aggressive word stuck to my mind. Then I decided that day I have to bring back this gentleman to Odisha again. Then when subsequent meeting, when I asked him, why didn't you continue your engagement? There was other preoccupation with Singapore Financial Authority. He could not devote time in those days. Then we discussed. And the basic question he said, what impressed on Singapore? How it come to your mind? You want to replicate Singapore with Odisha. When Swapnendu ji, when I was Minister of Petroleum, I had been to Singapore for a road show. We visited Jurong Island. And I came through the Jurong Island, I came to the inception of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, I studied all these things. And I had been to NUS, I had been to NTU, and I saw ecosystem. I met lot of Odia people also in that ecosystem. That struck to mind, what is the region, a small landmass, very disadvantaged landmass, has created its economy, its governance, its new perspective in a so short span. With lot of resource, lot of talent, lot of opportunity, lot of exposure, Odisha is a land of globalization since centuries ago. From this patch of land, navigation started more than 100,000 years ago. So this is the exposure we have, but still, what are the region we are lagging behind? So I went to western part of the globe. I always thought this is not replicable in our situation. Lot of resource, lot of costly models, lot of innovations, lot of standards are very different. So always I thought, what is the replicable model for eastern part of the country? It's not only Odisha, it's eastern part of country. Then we met, we discussed, and what are the basic strengths of Odisha? There are natural resources in Odisha. There are a lot of huge coastal area in Odisha. There's a lot of forestry in Odisha. But above all, there's a huge talent pool, which you represent. If you can, my basic thing, what impressed me on Singapore, one thing, if Swapnendu Mahanti can create a place for himself in the high ops in the Singapore, the Odia boys can do anything if they will get opportunity. That creates a confidence on me. That creates a confidence. Here, Swapnendu Mahanti is representing the aspiration of young Odias. Many Swapnendu Mahantis are there. I'm always confident. If we, as a policy in charge, if we'll create level playing field, if we'll create an ecosystem, then local talent can flourish, they can do wonders, and you are not a student of Ravenshaw College.
College.
You are student of FM college. That inspires me. We can create a Singapore in Odisha. Your FM college studentship can create confidence among Odisha's youth. We can create a huge ecosystem in Odisha. I'm happy. You are forgetting. Swapnendu Mahanti took me to, I had an appointment with on my second visit to Singapore with the then senior minister who is fortunately president of Singapore, Excellency Thurman. Both of we, after having some coffee in one small coffee shop in Singapore, my appointment was there with Senior Minister Thurman. He escorted me up to the Singapore Financial Authority's own office. He said, "This is my office." Then he sent me to the Senior Minister Thurman's office. During my discussion, I asked him, "Can we have some link, intellectual link with Singapore and India?" Then I specifically asked Odisha. So he said, and I asked about the fintech. What is there in a fintech? He said, "Do you know there is a Odia boy working in Singapore Financial Authority? Do you know him?" I said, "He's just behind your waiting room. He's there. He escorted me here." Then he recommended none else than President. Today he is President of Singapore. President Thurman recommended me, Swapnendu Mahanti, to me to have more contact. Then when we met subsequently, I think we last time, subsequently we met at Gandhinagar.
Yes.
With the present Prime Minister.
Yes.
With the present Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence Wong.
Lawrence Wong, and then we decided to do something substantive in Odisha. Then I can't forget one name in this discussion. In between, I met another gentleman, my dear friend Sanjeev Bajaj, the CEO of, the owner of Bajaj Insurance Group. Became coincident, we all three became common friends. Swapnendu and Sanjeev both are good friends. I became that club, and we decided to create an instrument in Odisha. Fortunately, Lord Jagannath was great. There was a change of government in Odisha. That's the trigger point for me. Then I requested our Chief Minister, who is going to inaugurate this initiative after a few minutes. I requested him, "Can you send your IT Minister and two of your senior officials, Vishal Devji and anyone?" Then the Chief Minister decided to send Finance Secretary Shashwat Mishra and Vishal Dev, and my dear friend Mukesh Mahaling, the IT Minister. After they came back, I can candidly admit on behalf of Mukesh Mahaling asked, after coming back, he said, I could make out what is fintech. In Singapore, he asked Mr. Mahanti, tell me, se Odia re pacharla je mate fintech ta bujhao. Se bado dui jana option sange jai tangu pachari paribani, mantri सब janichi. ତେଣୁ ସିଏ ବଡ଼ ନମ୍ରତା ସହ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଷାରେ ପଚାରିଲା, I am speaking this part of in Odia because there is a trade secret. So ସେ ପଚାରିଲା, ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପିଲାମାନେ ସବୁ ବସିଛନ୍ତି, ସେ ପଚାରିଲା ସ୍ୱପ୍ନେନ୍ଦୁ ଭାଇକୁ ରାତିରେ ଯେ ଭାଇ ମୋତେ ବୁଝାଅ ଏଇ ଫିନଟେକ୍ ଟା କ'ଣ? I am thankful you teach him properly. And both the sharp officer, both Vishal Devji and Shashwat, they come out, the team come out with convincing view. We must have a ecosystem of Singapore Financial Authority, which is now known as GFTN, with Odisha. Then we can create a ecosystem, because every year, lot of graduates are coming out of institutions, but there is a lack of competency. They are not skilled, they are not upskilled. Sometimes they need to be reskilled. There is a lacuna in the education ecosystem of India, which has been recommended few models in the National Education Policy. In a way, I am thankful, being in charge of country's education department, education sector, I am thankful we are creating a new instrument of skilling, reskilling, upskilling of graduate students. And today, this is the auspicious day, successfully, both Singapore government and Indian government and Odisha government, this tripartite agreement what we had did during President Thurman's visit in Odisha, today it is materializing, and I am very, very much thankful to you personally, Swapnenduji. We must create a new ecosystem, our Odia brothers and sisters.
Thank you. It's a long, long history, as you can see. But I have a very particular question beyond Odisha for you. Now, at least my belief is that with India's population, it's impossible even you as an education minister to make every college as a top class college. How do you think 30 million, I believe 30 million student undergraduate from India
40 million.
40 million.
Every year, 10 million students are passing out.
passing out. What is your thinking? Because end of the day, we need to create jobs. How do you expect that this 30 or 40 million student find a pathway to get a job or a similar kind of opportunity as a national strategy?
Thank you, Swapnendu. This is a very good and pertinent question. Every year, 10 million students are coming out of colleges as graduate. Looking into this scenario, and there is a false aspiration, false ego, I can say, ego in the students who are graduate. But regarding their employability, regarding their competency, there are a lot of questions are there. Even graduate engineers, 1.5 million graduate engineers are passing out every year. They are going to job market. Few years ago, there was a demand-supply dislocation. Demand side was up, supply side was slow. Today, on the engineering graduate, there are a lot of supply availability, but there is less demand. With the new changing geopolitical situation and instrument like AI, new challenges are coming up. Yes, as a state, as a policy in charge, as a government, we have to plan how do you place our students in a proper pathway. Looking into that, Prime Minister Modi has rightly said, degree are important, but competency is much more.
That's a very good point.
We have to create competency at different level. NEP is recommending skill-based education from class 6 onward now. Now we are implementing new curriculum from 6 to 8 in CBSE boards. There is a skill component as a subject. Previously, it was optional, it was elective. Now, skill is a subject in curriculum. 9th and 10th, skill orientation will be more focused. And 11th and 12th, there is specific specialization according to the choice of the student. Beyond that, we want to create new ecosystem in the higher education. Today, our higher education number are 40 million. If we go by NEP recommendation by 2030, we have to increase this ratio up to, this is 28% now. We have to increase this ratio up to 50%. GR should be 50% by next 5 years. That means by end of 30, the absolute higher education student number will be more than 90 million. We have to, that is the challenge, here lies the challenge. What will they do? Will be the simple graduate? Will they be equipped with some skill? Now, this kind of instrument, Government of India, industry and academia, both have to come together. We have to create a new skill architecture, new employability cohort, new entrepreneurial cohort. Nowadays, in every institution, we are focusing on E-clubs, entrepreneur clubs. In every institution, we are focusing on I-clubs, that means innovation club. Thanks to Prime Minister Modi, due to his continuous drive and effort, he has created a brand on innovation. Today, India is in a very comfortable position in the Global Innovation Index. Today, we are in the one of the prominent country as innovator country. We have to rely on the talent of our youth, and I am confident if we can create the new pathway. New pathway means more job-oriented, entrepreneur-oriented. Just let me cite one example. When Prime Minister Modi took charge of this country, few hundred startups were there. Today, the startup number in our country is 1,57,000 startups are there. Many more unicorns are there. They all are coming without capital, only through ideas. We can create that kind of ecosystem. We have to rely on faith and trust on the youngsters of our country. There must be a tie-up between policymakers like me, industry people like you, and academia like institutions, universities. I'm thankful, due to your effort, the prestigious NUS, National University of Singapore, is part of today's this kind of initiative.
Yes. Now, you raised a very good point. We always talk about jobs, people looking for jobs. You also spoke about there's a need for people who can create jobs, the entrepreneurs. In your education policy, are you seeing a shift to encourage students not to look for jobs, but create more jobs? Your thought process and how you see this journey going? Because end of the day, there's a limit to create jobs. We have to find new ways to create entrepreneurs who can create jobs at a scale. where do you see India standing? Where do you see your own thinking about our readiness to create jobs?
Swapnendu ji, you know, India is an enterprising society.
Yes.
Basically, by nature, India is an enterprising society. And they are innovator. I strongly believe innovation and entrepreneurship is the DNA, is a part of the DNA of Indian subcontinent. But nowadays, we have to recreate a model. And if I cite again these 2-3 examples, see the startup number in our country, see the risk-taking capability of our youth. Today, if I go to any campus, any IIT, NIT, or any university, my simple question to all my student friends, young friends, do you want to job seeker or job creator? And wholeheartedly people said, if you give us opportunity, we will be like to job creator. I met on the 15th August, Prime Minister Modi announced from the Red Fort, appeal to the youngsters of country, go and become job creator, become wealth creator. I have full trust in the youth of country, student of this country, to see that, because during the recently we celebrate Operation Sindoor, successful, its success in recent past. In those days, we could found India have to be self-reliant in many ways. When you're talking about India has to be self-reliant in many ways, from defense to agriculture, from healthcare to AI technology.
We have a drone startup from Odisha.
That boy has done wonder. This time our Odisha's boy, who was a student of Burla Engineering University, Veerasurinder Engineering University, he has created a national vibe in this days in the Operation Sindoor sideline. He is a very clever boy. He is not disclosing his figure of how many drones. Thrice I have asked him how many drones you have supplied to Indian Army. As a trade secret, he is not disclosing his number. But looking into his eyes, I am confident he has earned good amount of money. Not only that, gentleman, I saw a young girl, a group, one boy and girl. What are they doing? Both of them are students of NIT Rourkela, very prestigious institution of Odisha. Both of them are doing goat bank in far away Kalahandi district. Far away Kalahandi, through community participation, like Amul has given cow and buffalo to the villagers and brought buy back their milk and created a cooperative movement. In a similar model, now young people of Odisha are going back to the distant part of Odisha and they are creating ecosystem. I met a young boy 4 days ago on the 17th August in Delhi IIT. He came and told me, sir, I have place, I will not go for any internship. I will not go to attend any placement. I will do entrepreneurship. Now, I am confident that looking into the present scenario, lot of quality youngsters are joining entrepreneurship, and Government of India through its different kind of schemes and as a whole, as a society. 10 years ago, angel investor was a dictionary word for Indian investors. Startup fund was a distant word.
Yes.
Fund of the fund, we only go through by some economic assessment. Today, all these are the buzzword of Indian community, Indian investors scenario, and there is a trust, there is a confidence among youth and investors of this country. Only disadvantaged group is, very reluctant group is government. Government has to convince itself, we must believe our young people, yes. We must believe our entrepreneurs.
Sure. No, just a change in topic. When we were doing this initial test for this particular course, we saw a data which to me was a huge, huge surprise. Number of girls applying to the course was more than number of boys. And the number of people who did a good were better than the boys. The girls are doing better than the boys. Any thought process why the girls are doing much better than the boys in this whole education system?
Because in country, and also in Odisha, girls are always better than boys. As a politician, I was, to getting their votes, I was interpreting in this way 4 years ago, till 4 years ago. When I became education minister, I go by the data. Do you know this year, the STEM education participation is, girls are much ahead of boys. They are into core science. They are innovator.
So this is a huge opportunity for tapping the human talent to go behind the education process for the girls to be part of the economic development. Is there any specific thing you are doing as a Union Education Minister to encourage more girls to participate as an entrepreneur or as a job seeker? Any specific thing you are doing?
There are many schemes. From the Government of India point of view, I can say, I can cite few examples in the recently formed Odisha government also. Unless until we emphasize empowerment of women in all aspects, be it financial, be it social, be it in education, we have to empower our womanhood. This is the key of the turnaround of the society. We strongly believe. In Odisha, you know you are a strong believer. I know you are a strong believer of Lord Jagannath, and I request all of you, those who are coming first time to Odisha or second time to Odisha, you must visit Lord Jagannath. In our system, Sister Subhadra has a unique place, and Mahalakshmi has a unique place also. And in Puri Mandir, there is a Mandir of Ma Bimala. So in Odisha, there is where a deity, we are very dedicated to our goddesses. From historical background, if you go by Odisha's socio-economic movement, Malati Devi, Rama Devi, in political leadership, in literature, Nandini Satpathy, these are the women leaders of the society, those who have lead from the front, and they always inspired. This is the case of all India also, especially in the eastern part of India. We have a respectable position for women, and our government, from stand-up Yojana to giving opportunity in the military forces, we are giving more importance to women forces. In Odisha also, the recently elected new government has come out with an ambitious scheme for women, Subhadra.
Subhadra scheme.
Now my idea will be, my suggestion will be to you, you are creating a new skill set in our state. Sometime we have to plan how do you link this skill set with the Subhadra beneficiary.
Absolutely.
Among them, lot of educated young women are there. How to create a new, because if a person can book his choicest meal in Blinkit, I can see a day a lady from rural part of India will send quality pitha to you through Blinkit-like instrument developed by this fintech ecosystem to Singapore, because we have a direct flight to Singapore. This kind of policy we have to envision and
Absolutely.
implement in Odisha.
Absolutely. Now, the very personal question, Dharmendra Bhai. You know, you have been, as an education minister, you have been seeing students from all part of India and, of course, overseas. What you see as a strength of a Odia boy or girl compared to other boys and girls of different states? Of course, as a union minister, you are fair to everybody. And what weakness you see our own boys and girls from Odisha, they have to overcome? Something is missing because we don't have the real brand globally as a state. People look as for talent. What is that weakness and or strength you think we got to over project now?
I will answer one part in English. I would like to answer one part in Odia.
Aage Odia ta kontu.
Na ag English ta koi.
Oh, ठीक है.
Because Odisha, I strongly, my leader, the late Arun Jaitley, has always said one thing about Odia people. Dharmendra, you Odia have one strength. You are intellectually very clear and sound. Whether you be it in judicial system, be it in medicine, be it in academician, be it in administration, Odiyas are excellent in every aspect. This is the silver line of Odiya's talent pool. And I strongly believe if Swapnendu and Bodhisattva can create wonders and create a global wave with their background, every Odia, if given the opportunity, I am in charge of opportunity. I am the policy maker. My responsibility, my dear Vishal Dev's responsibility is there to create the ecosystem. We have to create a level playing field. Sometimes those people like me, those who are in administration, we think we know everything. So we create a hurdles between opportunity and aspiration of society and reality. That barrier has to be break, and Odisha is breaking that barrier. I am confident of the right path of that. ମୁଁ जोड़ा कहली जोड़ा ओडिया रे कहबी बोली आमे समस्ते टिके अधिका भाग्यवादी आमे मझिरे मझिरे अजथा स्वाभिमानी हो जाऊ ନିଜକୁ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରତିଯୋଗିତାରେ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ ନ କରିକି ଯେତେବେଳେ କାରଣ ଡର କାଳେ ଫେଲ୍ ହେଇଯିବା, କାଳେ ସାଙ୍ଗମାନେ ହସିବେ, କାଳେ ଆମ ଝିଅ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବେଶୀ ହସିଦେବ, କାଳେ ଆମ ଘରେ ନିନ୍ଦା ମିଳିବ, ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ କେବେ ନ କରିଲେ ଭଲ। ये जो गोटे आत्मविश्वास किसी समय पर आम भर अभाव हुए ସେଇଟା ଆମକୁ बड़ कामरू निवृत्त करे। आम ओडिया लोक मानक दुस्साहसी भावे मु निर्लज कहबिनी एकदम दक्षतार सह दुस्साहसी हवा पड़ो तेबे जाकि ओडिया इन ओडिशा डू यू नो इन ओडिशा we fought Kalinga war.
And we took a lot of risk as a sea
Oh,
trader.
yes, as a seafarer, we took a lot of risk. We fought Kalinga war.
Yes.
Do you know, a small boy in my own district, Dhenkanal, at the age of 12, he faced the bullet of Britishers without any fear.
So what happened?
We have to rekindle the spirit of Baji Raut and Bakshi Jagabandhu and Veera Surendra Sai and the spirit of Kalinga Yuddha again in the 21st century in our state.
That's a huge change as a culture we must have. Now, I know we are running out of time, but I have a couple of questions. What will be your message to the corporate leader who will be supporting us in this scheme? What role they should play? Because at the end of the day, we have to depend on them to give jobs.
I'm thankful to you, Swapnenduji, you put this question, and today when you give me an opportunity to meet few friends, those who are here with your invitation and the government of Odisha's invitation, my first question, how do you like Odisha? Overwhelmingly, they all said we like Odisha. Believe me, Odisha is a good place. Come Odisha again and again. Odisha has 2-3 things. Odisha has a lot of talents. Odisha is a peace-loving state. Odisha is a state of Lord Jagannath. We believe in cooperation. You believe in Bhaichara. And yes, we have some challenges, but be assured, the new government led by Shri Mohan Majhi will facilitate you red carpet. All kind of cooperation will be extended to you, what is available in the national sphere and beyond that also. The GFTN is a special initiative by Government of Odisha, believing on you. And I am happy today you are all here in a good number. And Swapnendu rightly said, Odisha, Swapnenduji, Odisha girls are not only talented in technology sector, in the STEM sector. If you go to the textile industry of country, you will find a substantial number of Odia girls. Those girls' age is maximum 25, 18 to 25 in those age group. Lakhs of Odia girls are working in the different, be it Surat, be it Coimbatore, be it Tirupur. I strongly believe Odia people are honest. Once I had been to Surat. I asked my good friend, Gujarati entrepreneur, what is your experience in Odia with Odia people? He said they are into diamond cutting, diamond polishing industry. They said Odia people are honest, Odia people are hardworking, Odia people are content people. These 3 things of Odia society will create a positivity for all of you. Please come to Odisha, please hire Odia people. GFTN and NUS and Government of Odisha's instrument will create good talent pool for you. Have faith on us, and my invitation will extend it to you. Please open your back-end office, GCC, in Odisha also.
You know, thank you, Dharmendra bhai. Last, I know my dream, sitting in Singapore, I want to make Odisha as the twin city to Singapore. Any message to Singaporeans when we go back to home? What should we think about Odisha?
Swapnenduji, you and your team, we all are indebted to you. You have created a really good deliverables for Odisha. Both of us, Odisha and Singapore, India and Singapore, they are natural allies. I know the depth of our relationships in Atal Bihari.
And you are very popular in Singapore. All ministers love you.
Thank you. It's your special affection. So, but I believe Singapore is the nearest economic hotspot for us. From Odisha, we have 2 hotspots. One is Singapore, another is Dubai. But personally, I feel Singapore has its more advantageous position than Dubai. Due to its climate, due to its rain, due to its food habitation, there are a lot of similarity between Odisha and Singapore. Many more we are expecting Jurong in some of our industrial clusters in Odisha. We want green hydrogen industry of Singapore base. They should come to Odisha.
Sure.
In manufacturing, Singaporean companies should come to Odisha because we are nearby, we are strategically positioned. Our relationship will be go beyond our normal human relationship.
Thank you, Dharmendra ji. And with all your support and help, we from Singapore would love to be part of your journey, your dream. Thank you very much.
We'd like to once again thank Honorable Union Minister Shri Dharmendra Pradhan ji for sharing valuable insights with us. I'm sure this fireside chat would have fired up the GFTN team to work even harder in the days to come. Thank you so much. And at the same time, I would also take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Sports and Youth Affairs, Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Government of Odisha, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj, who is here with us. A warm welcome to him. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get the stage ready for our formal ceremony, we are expecting the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Mohan Charan ji, to join us very shortly, and we'll be starting with the formal ceremony. But before that, as I was talking about the 4 pillars, and if you remember, I spoke about global mind share, that would witness global platforms like the Black Swan Summit coming to Bhubaneswar in the first quarter of 2026. We have a very short video of Black Swan Summit, if you can take a look at it while we get the stage ready for the formal ceremony. So can we play the video, please?
In a world of relentless disruption and boundless innovation, there is one balance we cannot afford to break. As machines shape the future, nature remains irreplaceable. Join us at the Black Swan Summit to explore how disruptive technologies are transforming the world, while safeguarding its delicate balance. Or are they?